On a quiet afternoon in Louisville, Kentucky, the peace of a suburban neighborhood was shattered by a sound that froze hearts. From the second floor of a modest home, a woman's desperate cries echoed through the street. "Help me! Please! Somebody help!" Neighbors stopped in their tracks, uncertain if what they heard was real. But when officers from the Louisville Metro Police Department arrived, they realized this was no misunderstanding. It was the beginning of a rescue that looked like something out of a nightmare. Through a shattered upstairs window, the figure of a young woman appeared. But what horrified officers wasn't just her bloodied hands or terrified face, it was the thick, heavy chain wound tightly around her neck, padlocked and bolted to the floor. It was medieval cruelty playing out in modern America. That woman was Jada Hurdle, a young mother trapped in a cycle of abuse that had finally erupted into violence impossible to hide. The man who had chained her like an animal was her partner, 6-year-old Moises May. For months, behind closed doors, he had controlled her through fear, manipulation, and escalating violence. To outsiders, their home looked ordinary. Inside, it was a private prison. Jada had tried to break free before. She had thought about leaving, even attempted it. But, like so many victims of domestic violence, she was bound by fear for her child, fear of retaliation, fear that no one would believe her. Abuse had become her normal, until that day when May decided to make her captivity literal. In a fit of rage, he attacked her. He dragged out a heavy chain, wrapped it around her neck, and secured it with a master padlock. Then, with chilling precision, he bolted the other end to the floor of their child's bedroom. With the doors barricaded from the inside, May left the house, believing he had broken her spirit once and for all. But he underestimated her will to live. Choking on fear and fighting against the chain, Jada crawled inch by inch toward a second-floor window. Summoning every ounce of strength, she smashed the glass with her bare hands, slicing her skin open as shards rained around her. She forced her head through the jagged frame and screamed into the summer air, her voice raw, carrying through the neighborhood like a siren of survival. The first 911 call came from a neighbor who could hardly believe what they were describing. A woman chained by the neck, crying for help from a broken window. Dispatchers relayed the details, and patrol cars rushed to the scene. When officers arrived, the sight stunned them. They could see Jada, visibly injured and restrained, but every entry point front and back was sealed shut. The home had been turned into a fortress. The victim was in plain sight, but unreachable. And the danger wasn't just the chain. May could return at any moment. As police assessed their options, preparing to breach the door, an act of community courage changed everything. A neighbor sprinted across the street carrying a long extension ladder. Without hesitation, he propped it against the house, its top just reaching the broken second-floor window. For the first time, there was a way in. The rescue was about to begin. The ladder shook slightly as an officer from the Louisville Metro Police SWAT team began the climb. Every step up was recorded on his body cam, capturing the tense silence broken only by Jada's sobs from the shattered window above. Neighbors stood frozen in their yards, watching a rescue that felt like a scene from a movie, except it was terrifyingly real. When the officer reached the top, he carefully maneuvered through the jagged glass and swung into the room. What he saw made him catch his breath. Jada was chained to the floor of her child's bedroom, the heavy metal links digging into her skin, leaving deep bruises and abrasions around her neck. The chain was padlocked so tightly that she could hardly move her head. He radioed down, his voice calm but edged with disbelief. "Victim is chained. Padlock on the neck. Need a tool now." Another officer on the ground sprinted to his patrol car and returned with a hatchet. It was passed up the ladder and into the hands of the rescuer inside. There was no time to wait for a key or a specialist. May could come back at any second. Placing the lock on the floor, the officer swung hard. The first strike echoed through the house. The second cracked the shackle, and with the third, the padlock snapped open, the chain fell loose, Jada was free. Officers immediately pulled her to safety, guiding her down the ladder and into the arms of paramedics waiting below. Her neck bore raw wounds, her arms bled from the broken glass, and her body was weak from dehydration. But she was alive because she had refused to surrender, because neighbors had acted, and because police had risked everything to get her out. Once Jada was safe, the house was breached from the front, doors smashed open as officers cleared the rooms. The suspect was gone. What had once been her prison was now a crime scene. A citywide manhunt began within hours. Alerts went out to every department across Kentucky. Wanted, Moises May, 36, armed and dangerous. For 2 long days, he was a fugitive. But on the 18th of August 2023, May was located and arrested without incident. The charges were staggering: kidnapping, unlawful imprisonment, assault, wanton endangerment, terroristic threatening, each reflecting the horror Jada endured. His bond was set at $100,000 cash. But beyond the legal process, Jada's story struck a deeper chord. It became a symbol of survival, of a woman who refused to let violence silence her. She had been trapped, chained like property, yet she broke through the window of her prison and screamed until the world heard her. And just as powerful was the role of community. Neighbors didn't turn away or dismiss her cries as noise. They called 911. One man ran with a ladder, giving officers the chance to save her. It was proof that in moments of crisis, ordinary people can be extraordinary. Today, Jada's scars remain, but so does her courage. Her story is a stark reminder of the hidden dangers of domestic abuse, but also of the strength that lies in refusing to give up. From a quiet suburban street, a tale of terror became a testament to survival, and a reminder that even in the darkest moments, bravery and compassion can light the way.